What you're looking at right now is called the Helix Nebula. Beautiful, isn't it? And what you're looking at now is still the Helix Nebula, but are seen in infrared light. These are both such beautiful images, but there's more to them than just their beauty. Humans can see light with a very particular and narrow range of wavelengths, and we call it the visible spectrum. If we split this spectrum and analyze it, we can find out a lot about where the light came from what atoms and molecules are present at the source, what its temperature is, if the source is moving towards or away from us, much more. That's an insane amount of information, right? What if I tell you that this is just scratching the surface? There's so much more information hidden in the electromagnetic waves that we can't see with our eyes. Look again at the Helix Nebula. In visible light, we can see hot dust clouds glowing around a white dwarf star. And what do light of different wavelengths reveal? The near-infrared radiation reveals the glow of more complex molecules formed in the outer shell, which aren't hot enough to be seen in visible light. The mid-infrared glow highlights the warm, bright red dust surrounding the white dwarf in the center. And when seen in ultraviolet light, we see it trace the hot gas being expelled from the dying star. All this detail hiding in the shadows of the visible spectrum that is so limited by our perspective. But we have our tricks and our gadgets. We've built telescopes that allow us to see and study the entire spectrum of light. Not everything in the universe emits visible light, and being able to see different wavelengths of light has opened up so many possibilities in the world of astronomy. Let's go through the entire spectrum and see what different wavelengths of light help us see. Pun intended. And let's start with the first spectra that we studied besides visible light: radio waves. Radio waves have the longest wavelength across the whole spectrum, ranging from 1 centimeter to several kilometers. They are emitted by a variety of phenomena, which has allowed us to use radio to map out the entire structure of our galaxy, take photos of black holes, and study pulsars that act like cosmic lighthouses. It also allows us to see the coldest and densest dust and gas in the filaments of the Helix Nebula, which is the material that the dying star had expelled as it was becoming a white dwarf. Next up are microwaves. They cover wavelengths between 1 meter and 1 millimeter, and they have a special but limited place in astronomy. No matter where we look in the sky, we always see a faint, relatively uniform glow of microwaves spread across the universe. This is called the cosmic microwave background radiation, and we believe that it is the residue of the radiation released by the Big Bang itself. Right before we reach visible light, we've got the infrared spectrum. It ranges from just below 1 millimeter to 0.75 micrometers. Infrared light is essentially just heat, and it was the first non-visible wavelength discovered. As we spoke about earlier, it has the ability to penetrate through dust and gas, which don't let visible light through. Many young stars are hidden inside thick clouds of dust. Infrared light can pass through that dust, allowing us to observe regions where stars are forming more clearly. We've already spoken about visible light, and after it comes ultraviolet light. It has shorter wavelengths and carries more energies than visible light. It leads us to observing hot and highly energetic processes happening across the universe, such as those taking place in young stars and in young star-forming galaxies. Look at how easy ultraviolet light makes it to see the white dwarf at the center of the Helix Nebula, and how it lights up the shells of gas around it. Things get even more heated and energetic with X-rays. X-rays wavelengths are so small that it is actually quite hard to detect them. Just like they penetrate human tissue to reveal broken bones, X-rays also pass through mirrors that astronomers may want to use to concentrate them. These matter-penetrating rays are generated in vast amounts during some of the most extraordinary processes in the universe, such as when supermassive black holes or extremely massive neutron stars suck in matter from their surroundings, or during supernova explosions of dying stars. X-ray data from the Helix Nebula shows that it emits both high-energy and low-energy X-rays. White dwarfs usually just emit lower-energy X-rays. So what does this mean? Astronomers have deduced that this X-ray signal could be coming from debris from a destroyed planet being pulled onto the white dwarf. If confirmed, this would be the first case of a planet seen to be destroyed by the central star in a planetary nebula. Last but certainly not the least, gamma rays. They are the most energetic form of radiation present in the universe. Just like X-rays, they come from extremely hot and energetic processes in the universe, and they are even better at penetrating matter than X-rays. Gamma ray bursts are indicators that a cataclysmic event has occurred somewhere in the universe. By measuring the intensity of the burst, astronomers can learn something about the intensity and distance of these events. And when they are detected, astronomers turn other types of telescopes to search for and study the source of the flash. This is something you'll see them do all the time. It is only when we look at all the parts of the electromagnetic spectrum that we can get a full picture of what's going on. The universe is unimaginably vast, but there's still so much we can do. So many observations that we can still make with the technology and knowledge we have right now. We aren't even limited to just being able to observe the universe through electromagnetic waves anymore. In 2015, scientists observed gravitational waves for the first time, and this gave us a whole other tool to detect incredibly energetic and powerful phenomena happening across the universe. If you want to know more about what gravitational waves are and how they help us observe the universe, let us know in the comments below. And if you learned something new from this video, don't forget to like it and subscribe to Just Learning for more.